down with the table of Satan and get all the blessings that he give you too. Yes, Satan have blessings to give. He sat before the pinnacle with Christ and said, listen, all these kingdoms in the world I will give you if you follow me. Yes, Satan have blessings for you. So you can't say you down with Christ and sitting down with Satan. You're getting blessed, but you're getting blessed from one side or the other. Read.
Do we provoke the Lord to jealousy?
Are we making God jealous in America and abroad? Yes. Read.
Are we stronger than he?
Are you stronger than God? Read.
All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not.
Now let's go into the truth of Thanksgiving. All right? And you can find this online yourself in the Orient Daily. Thanksgiving, a national day of mourning. Why is it called mourning? It's a mourning for the North American Indians. Okay? It's a mourning because these people once had this land filled with buffalo, filled with all types of good dainties. Now they've been pushed to reservations so that the regular society or the world society cannot see this eyesore that was created here in America. These people were slaughtered. And I'm going to read something that you would probably need to see. In the 1600s, there was a harvest or feast with the Pequot Indians. Okay? And at this feast, the Europeans sat and ate, gave them things to drink, fire water, and barricaded over 700 Indians in and burnt and killed them, men, women, and children. I'm going to read some of it. Now, I'm not saying this to bring forth any spirit of hate or any spirit of attacking another people. I'm bringing this because it's truth. Now, if you're going to celebrate a day, don't get upset when someone brings the truth behind that day. Okay? You can't just bring the good part. You have to bring it all. Now, what we taught in school about Thanksgiving, sitting down with the pilgrims and all that, that's the good story. And you know what? I don't disrespect it because there is some part of history where that happened. But the history of what really happened after they sat down and ate and drank, we're going to give that side. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just truth. Okay? I need you to read this part. We're not going to read it all. It's just enough so you can get the full gist of what we're bringing. Americans today read that to here. Go ahead.
Americans today believe that Thanksgiving celebrates a bountiful harvest, but that is not so. By 1970, the Wampanoag have turned up a copy of a Thanksgiving proclamation made by the governor to the colony. The text revealed the ugly truth. After a colonial militia had returned from murdering the men, women, and children of an Indian village, the governor proclaimed a holiday and feast to give thanks for the massacre. He also encouraged other colonies to do likewise. In other words, every autumn after the crops are in, go kill Indians and celebrate your murderers with a feast. Your murders with a feast. In November 1970, their descendants returned to Plymouth to publish the true story of Thanksgiving, and along with about 200 other Indians from around the country, to observe a national day of Indian mourning.
A national day of Indian mourning was instituted ever since 1970 to say, listen, we need to bring the truth of what really happened to our people. Thanksgiving is not a day that we should hold high as a people or as a nation. It's an eyesore. I mean, I don't know about you, but if somebody came into your house, knocked down your door, raped, killed your people, then put you in a cellar and call it a reservation, and then 100 years later said that we want everyone to celebrate this day as a righteous day of God, how would you feel? How would you feel? Think about it. Somebody come into your house and just kill all of you. After you've taught these people, you let this person in your house and you taught them how to live through the winter. You taught them how to deal with the buffalo. You taught them how to reap crops. You taught them, you gave them the love. You loved them as your own. And when you fell asleep, they burned you and your children, then commemorated it with a holiday called Thanksgiving. How would you feel? Have you ever asked a North American Indian? We're going to go into the scriptures and show you who the North American Indians are. And after that, we're going to show you the spirit behind this day and how God feels based on this day. In the Apocrypha, which is part of the original King James Version Bible, it tells you about the North American Indians coming over here to this country with the 10 tribes. And we're going to bring out a teaching soon on all the tribes of Israel. All right? Here's a book called Lost Tribes and the Promised Land by Ronald Sanders. Ronald Sanders is an historian who found out when he went through burial grounds and different histories and even the diaries or the memoirs of Christopher Columbus himself, and found out that all the Western world, the Europeans that came over here to this country originally knew that the North American Indians were from the children of Israel. Let's go to Genesis, the 49th chapter. Genesis 49, and let's start at about the 18th verse.
Genesis 49 and 18. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Yes, Gad was the lawgiver over here in this land. He was the lawgiver. And it say a troop shall overtake him. What troop? The U.S. Cavalry. That's the troop that overtook him when the Europeans came to this country. They fought, and they fought valiantly, but eventually they were restricted to reservations. Let's go to Second Esdras out of the Apocrypha, the 13th chapter and the 39th verse. Read.
Second Esdras, the 13th chapter and the 39th verse. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
And so came they into another land. So they was actually part of Israel, the land of Samaria. They were one of the 10 tribes that left in the Assyrian captivity and came over to through the Euphrates, over the Pacific Ocean, to this new land. The North American Indians were one of these tribes that inhabited North, Central, and South America, mainly Canada and North America, which were the tribe of Gad. Read.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen,